You awaken inside the dimly lit chapel of anticipation as a newly minted mage, fully prepared to embrace your glorious new life as a massive nerd. Your singular, driving purpose revolves around mastering the arcane arts and transforming the brutal lands between into your personal glowing blue playground. You clutch your little astrologer staff and prepare to counter his massive, terrifying world using the absolute power of pure, unadulterated intellect. You step out into the sprawling green fields of Limgrave, fully embrace your identity, the squishy scholar wrapped in a highly comfortable bathrobe. Because why wear heavy metal plates when you can wear a snuggie? You rely entirely on your glintstone pebble to solve literally every single problem you encounter during your early travels. You methodically dismantle enemy encampments by standing a whole zip code away, casting this tiny glowing blue rock repeatedly until everything ceases movement. You find immense sadistic satisfaction in watching heavily armored knights fail helplessly while you deplete their health bars from a perfectly safe distance. Eager for more magical vocabulary, you seek out the Waypoint ruins to locate sorceress Selen. She enthusiastically accepts you as her apprentice and offers to teach you the true depths of glintstone magic. You immediately purchase the glintstone art to slice through large groups of enemies with a sweeping wave of azure energy. You completely embrace her teachings, dedicating your life to uncovering the mysteries of the primal current. You face the tree sentinel wandering right outside the starting area and absolutely obliterate him by safely casting spells from the roof of the nearby Church of Ellet. Tactical advantage? More like tactical cowardice, and I love it. You encounter Flying Dragon Eggle in the shallow lake and casually shoot magic missiles at his scaly head while riding Torrent and Wide, swing drive-by circles across the water. You approach Margit, the Fell Omen, at the gates of Stormvale Castle with supreme confidence in your arcane abilities. You summon your spirit ashes to act as the ultimate meat shield while you unleash a continuous barrage of glintstone magic to quickly deplete his health bar and secure your early triumph. You then easily conquer Godric the Grafted by staying at a completely safe distance from his massive axe and sweeping fire attacks, securing your first great rune with absolute ease. You march triumphantly through the castle, knowing your magical supremacy provides the absolute solution to every physical threat. Why lift weights when you can just lift a glowing stick? You quickly realize that a true scholar requires excellent school supplies to achieve absolute greatness in this chaotic world. You actively seek out a hidden chest within the dragon-burnt ruins to experience a surprise, non-refundable vacation to the beautiful scarlet rot swamps of Caelid. You sprint wildly through the streets of Sage's ruins while actively dodging terrifying fungal horrors just to secure your magnificent prize. You successfully claim the meteorite staff and the rock sling sorcery from the decaying ruins to drastically amplify your magical damage right out of the gate. This incredibly powerful wooden stick boasts an S-tier intelligence scaling that turns your early game character into an absolute menace. You pair the staff with a rock sling spell to hurl massive boulders at your enemies and completely shatter their posture. Nothing says, I am a refined intellectual, quite like throwing literal rocks at someone's head. You travel across the landscape feeling like a true master of the arcane arts, raining destruction upon anyone foolish enough to cross your path. Next, you venture into Celia, town of sorcery, to light the magical braziers and unlock the secrets of the ancient Nox civilization. You easily defeat the Nox sorceress and Nox priest by bombarding them with gravity magic from a secure, elevated vantage point. You acquire the night comet sorcery hidden within the town to add an incredibly stealthy and highly damaging spell to your collection. You discover the Staff of Loss nearby to massively boost the power of your invisibility sorceries and create a devastating combination. You completely dominate the terrifying monstrous dogs and giant crows roaming the Scarlet Rod by sniping them from ledges where they can't even touch you. You meticulously allocate your hard-earned runes into your attributes to create the definitive glass cannon build. You heavily invest invest every single point into intelligence to ensure your spells hit with the force of a falling meteor. You actively, purposefully neglect your vigor stat, choosing to live life on the absolute bleeding edge of mortality. You proudly accept the reality of succumbing to every single vigor check the game presents by perishing in one hit to a random dog bite. You view instant death as a minor inconvenience on your path to achieving absolute magical supremacy. You also invest heavily the mind attribute to expand your focus points and cast an endless barrage of sorceries continuously. You constantly chug from your flask of cerulean tears to maintain your magical assault and keep the battlefield saturated with blue light. You essentially become an absolute walking tank that fires nuclear bombshells while possessing the physical durability of a wet paper towel. You proudly wear the Twin Sage Glintstone crown to heavily boost your intelligence and project an aura of absolute scholarly authority. You look like a giant stone chess piece, but fashion is temporary, damage is forever. You equip the Radagon Icon Talisman to significantly reduce your spellcasting time and overwhelm your enemies with sheer speed. You carefully manage your stamina to ensure you always have enough energy to perform a swift panic dodge roll after casting a heavy spell. You fully embrace the unique rhythm of magical combat by constantly repositioning yourself to maintain the perfect casting distance. Your scholarly pilgrimage naturally leads you to the mist-shrouded wetlands of Liurnia of the Lakes. You gaze upon the towering academy of Raya Lucaria and feel a profound sense of belonging among fellow magic users. You acquire the Academy Glintstone Key and storm the magical fortress to show the resident sorcerers the true meaning of magical dominance. You engage in thrilling magical duels against the Glintstone sorcerers, roaming the grand halls by returning their spells with your own overpowered rocks. You discover the Graven School Talisman hidden within the academy to further enhance the potency of your sorceries. You face the Red Wolf of Radagon and easily matches magical glint blade attacks with your own rapid-fire spells. You eventually reach the Grand Library to confront Renala, Queen of the Full Moon, in a spectacular display of magical prowess. You quickly notice her immense resistance to standard magic attacks and cleverly adapt your strategy. You utilize your trusty rock sling to repeatedly bash her with physical gravity magic until her posture completely shatters. You secure a glorious victory and claim the Carrion Regal Scepter from her remembrance to serve as your definitive endgame casting tool. You enthusiastically upgrade this magnificent staff to unlock its full potential and achieve S-tier intelligence scaling. You utilize its unique spinning weapon skill to create a defensive blender of pure magic that spreads anyone foolish enough to approach your personal bubble. Your thirst for magical knowledge leads you to the Three Sisters Towers to meet Ranni the Witch. You gladly enter her service and embark on a massive continent-spanning questline to bring about the Age of Stars. Let's be real, you're doing it for the Moonlight Sword, but the four-armed blue waifu is a nice bonus. You embrace the role of a dedicated magical servant and follow her instructions to the letter. You team up with Blade, the half-wolf, to explore the depths of Nokron, the Eternal City, and uncover its ancient secrets. You venture into the dangerous underground ruins to retrieve the Finger Slayer blade for your mistress. Along the way, you interact with Preceptor Sullivis in his creepy little tower to acquire his highly valuable magical artifacts. You tolerate his incredibly arrogant attitude solely to acquire the Magic Scorpion Charm to boost your magical damage to astronomical heights. You complete his mundane tasks and purchase powerful sorceries from his collection to further expand your arcane arsenal. You eventually discover his hidden chamber filled with terrifying puppets and realize he possesses a highly disturbing hobby. You gladly watch his questline reach its natural, highly satisfying conclusion when he becomes a puppet himself. You proudly steal his Preceptor's set to celebrate his demise and look absolutely fabulous while casting your spells. You continue Ranni's questline by traveling through the subterranean lake of rot, using the Flame Cleanse Me incantation to survive the toxic environment. You face Astil, natural born of the void, and conquer this terrifying cosmic entity by hitting its massive eye with perfectly aimed rock slings. You present the Dark Moon Ring to Ranni and claim the legendary Dark Moon Greatsword as a symbol of your eternal bond. You wield this magnificent frost-infused weapon to fire massive waves of moonlight at your enemies and completely decimate their health bars without spending a single drop of FP. You take a pleasant detour to the Church of Irith to meet Thops, an incredibly humble sorcerer seeking a small donation of 10 runes. You gladly purchase his basic spells and eventually supply him with a spare Academy Glintstone key to fulfill his lifelong dream of returning to Raya Lucaria. You later discover his lifeless body at his desk, but you proudly claim Thops' barrier as a testament to his sheer dedication to the arcane arts. You utilize this unique defensive spell to deflect incoming magic and honor his memory by turning his life's work into an impenetrable shield. You also visit the Church of Vows to meet Miriel, Pastor of Vows, an exceptionally large and friendly turtle wearing a magnificent Pope hat. Protect the Turtle Pope at all costs. He is the only pure thing in this forsaken land. You entrust him with all your hard-earned sorcery scrolls because he gladly accepts your knowledge and shares his profound wisdom with absolute grace. You find immense comfort in resting near this giant reptile and listening to his soothing voice after a long day of melting demigods. You explore the treacherous cliffs of Mount Gilmir to infiltrate the Volcano Manor and confront Praetor Rykard, the Lord of Blasphemy. You pick up the Serpent Hunter Spear intended for the specific boss fight and confidently shove it into your bottomless inventory. You actively choose to rely entirely on your sorceries to defeat this massive serpent because a true mage solves every single problem with glowing blue rocks, no exceptions. You stand at a completely safe distance and cast Rock Sling repeatedly to completely shatter his posture while dodging his chaotic magma explosions. You cast the Meteorite Sorcery to rain burning celestial debris directly onto his massively coiled body. You proudly claim Rykard's rancor from his remembrance to summon a trail of explosive flaming skulls and add a touch of fiery chaos to your magical repertoire. You delve deep into the claustrophobic subterranean shunning grounds beneath the capital city to test your magical prowess in extremely tight spaces. You utilize the Night Maiden's Mist Sorcery to fill entire corridors with a highly damaging silver cloud of pure death. You watch with sheer delight as the terrifying Omen enemies slowly deplete their health bars while standing help inside your toxic vape trap. You confront Mog, the Omen, at the bottom of this forsaken dungeon and completely overwhelm him with a relentless barrage of comet projectiles. You discover the hidden path to the frenzied flame and actively neglect it because the chaotic nature of madness directly conflicts with your highly structured scholarly pursuits. You navigate the blinding blizzards of the consecrated snowfield to locate the hidden portal leading to Michaela's Haligtree. You solve the complex puzzle at Ordina, Liturgical Town, by using your invisibility spells to safely circumvent the invisible Black Knife assassins patrolling the rooftops. You arrive at the magnificent branches of the Haligtree and engage in thrilling magical duels against the Haligtree Knights. You confront Loretta, Knight of the Haligtree, and engage in an epic shoutout using your highly powerful long-range spells. You successfully dodge her massive magical arrows and retaliate with your own Loretta's Great Bow sorcery to prove your absolute mastery of arcane archery. You proudly claim Loretta's mastery to fire 4 massive magical arrows simultaneously and completely obliterate distant targets before they even notice your presence. You expand your magical arsenal by seeking out the legendary primal sorcerers scattered across the map. You travel to the volcanic cliffs of Mount Gilmir to locate primal sorcerer Azur, sitting quietly near the hermit village. He silently gifts you the legendary comet Azur sorcery to completely revolutionize your approach to boss fights. You also journey to the hidden depths of the Celia hideaway to find Master Lusat and claim the Stars of Ruin spell. You acquire Lusat's Glintstone staff to maximize your damage output in exchange for increased focus point consumption. You equip the Graven Mask Talisman to push your sorcery damage to the absolute limit and become a true god of magic. You constantly seek out new spells spells like the Carrion Slicer to manifest a glowing magical sword and perform incredibly fast melee attacks. You utilize the Carrion Piercer to summon a massive magical greatsword and thrust it directly into the chests of your enemies. You perfectly blend ranged magical artillery with devastating close quarters spellcasting to dominate every single encounter. You also incorporate the devastating meteorite of Astel sorcery to rain absolute destruction upon massive bosses and completely annihilate their health pools. You proudly wear Azur's glintstone crown to further boost the damage of your primal sorceries and fully embrace the aesthetic of a cosmic scholar. Now you engage in a highly elaborate ritual of preparation before stepping through any misty boss door. You completely embrace the absolute absurdity of the Comet Azur one-shot meme. To obliterate your enemies, you begin by casting Terra Magica to create a glowing sigil on the ground that massively amplifies your magical damage. You consume a carefully mixed flask of wondrous physic containing the magic shrouding cracked tear and the cerulean hidden tear. This potent combination grants you enhanced magic damage and infinite focus points for a brief period. You step through the fog gate, lock onto the boss, and unleash a blinding continuous beam of pure cosmic energy. You simply hold down the casting button and watch the boss's health bar melt away in mere seconds. Interactive gameplay? No thanks. I prefer to press one button and watch the gameplay itself. You find immense joy in totally circumventing complex boss mechanics using this overwhelmingly powerful laser beam. You laugh maniacally as terrifying demigods vanish into cosmic dust before they even finish their dramatic entrance animations. You completely humiliate Commander Niall in Castle Sol by blasting him into oblivion before his spectral knights can even reach you. You approach Mog, Lord of Blood, and completely circumvent his deadly countdown ritual by melting his entire health bar before he finishes counting to Uno. You triumphantly over their fading bodies and perform a polite bow to acknowledge your absolute superiority. Your journey requires you to participate in the Radon Festival of Redmane Castle. To unlock the path to the stars, you summon a massive army of festival guests to distract Star-Scourge Radon while you safely stand on the opposite side of the battlefield. You hurl an endless barrage of rock slings and glintstone comets at the massive general while he frantically chases your allies around the sand dunes. You secure the victory while remaining perfectly safe, fully validating your highly effective "let everyone else die for me" tactical approach. Bring your immense magical power to the Atlas Plateau and the royal capital of Leyndell to continue your crusade. Effortlessly slice through heavily armored Leyndell knights using the Carrion Slicer spell to demonstrate your melee prowess. You face Morgoth, the Omen King, and completely overwhelm his agile movements with the tracking projectiles of the Stars of Ruin. You continue your journey to the mountaintops of the giants and confront the Fire Giant in a spectacular magical showdown. You utilize your vast array of frost sorceries like Adula's Moonblade to exploit his vulnerability to cold temperatures. You summon a massive icy greatsword to unleash devastating waves of frostbite upon his massive ankles and secure your triumph. You cast Ranni's Dark Moon to hurl a massive sphere of freezing magic directly at his chest to inflict massive damage and lower his magical defense. You watch this towering behemoth crumble to the snowy ground and proudly claim his remembrance. You discover the hidden path to the Halictree and prepare to face Melania, Blade of Michaela, in the definitive test of your magical prowess. You quickly realize she possesses the annoying ability to dodge standard projectiles, so you adapt your strategy. You rely heavily on your Night Comet sorcery because enemies remain completely oblivious to these invisible magical attacks. You equip the Staff of Loss in your offhand to drastically boost its power and completely trivialize the encounter. You maintain a safe distance and continuously blast her with invisible magic while she slowly walks towards you in absolute confusion. You perfectly dodge her waterfowl dance by utilizing the Bloodhound Step Ash of War to swiftly glide away from her relentless flurry of slashes. You completely circumvent her terrifying second phase by casting Terra Magica and unleashing your Comet Azur the exact moment she lands from her Scarlet Aeonia attack. Take that, Goddess of Rot! The Goddess of Nerd Math wins today! You navigate the floating ruins of crumbling Farum Azula to face Malekith, the Black Blade. You rely entirely on your swift dodges to avoid his acrobatic attacks and maintain a safe distance. Carefully time your Night Comet casts to deal massive damage while completely overcoming his agile movements, safely eliminating the most dangerous threat in the game. You finally return to the Ashen Capital to confront Radagon and the Elden Beast. You summon your Mimic Tier, Spirit Ash, to create a perfect magical duplicate of yourself and double your arcane firepower. You cast Ranni's Dark Moon to hurl a massive chilling sphere of magic at Radagon and significantly lower his magic defense. You perfectly time your Comet Azur to completely obliterate his health bar the moment he stands still, to perform his holy attacks. You then chase the Elden Beast across the vast cosmic arena while hurling rock slings to shatter its massive posture. You cast the devastating meteorite of Astel to summon a catastrophic shower of cosmic rocks directly onto the majestic space amoeba. You secure the final victory and proudly summon Ranni the Witch to usher in the Age of Stars. You ascend as her eternal consort and leave the lands between to embark on a chilling 1,000-year voyage through the cosmos. You sit back and reflect on your incredible journey, knowing you conquered the entire world using exclusively a wooden stick and the absolute power of your massive intellect. But your job isn't done. You embrace your role as a magical artillery cannon by frequently engaging in cooperative multiplayer sessions to assist struggling Tarnished. You place your golden summon sign near highly challenging boss doors, offer your overwhelming firepower. You enter the world, immediately run to the distant corner of the arena, cast your Terra Magica, and unleash your Comet Azur to completely obliterate the boss while the host simply watches in absolute awe. You receive a rune art and a hearty gesture of gratitude for effortlessly carrying them to victory. You eagerly venture into the realm of shadow to uncover entirely new magical secrets. You discover the Mother of Fingers and acquire the Staff of the Great Beyond to cast both sorceries and incantations simultaneously. You face Rilana, twin Moon Knight, and engage in a spectacular magical duel of epic proportions. You match your twin moons with your own Ranni's Dark Moon to create a breathtaking display of celestial power. You claim her twin light greatswords to perform devastating magical combos and truly master the path of Spellblade. You acquire the fleeting microcosm sorcery to summon miniature black holes and proudly wear the High Priest armor set to showcase your elevated status among the magical elite of the Shadowlands. Finally, you encounter hostile players who invade your world with their highly optimized melee builds and aggressive tactics. You enthusiastically welcome these bloody encounters as a wonderful opportunity to demonstrate the absolute dominance of sorcery. You cast Carrion Phalanx to surround yourself with floating magical blades that automatically track and attack the invader. You unleash a barrage of star shower projectiles to constantly pressure them and force them to panic roll across the environment. You perfectly time a Carrion Piercer to manifest a massive magical greatsword and thrust it directly into their chest. You watch them vanish into dust and perform a respectful bow to show them the true manners of an incredibly smug astrologer. You completely dominate the PvP landscape by forcing your opponents to navigate an endless maze of glowing blue projectiles. You truly embody the essence of a master sorcerer, turning every single battle into a breathtaking display of arcane supremacy.